Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Warframe video. Before anything else, I would like to thank you for all your support throughout the years. I have been doing this YouTube thing for a very long time now, and you are still here to support me, so from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all for your support. It has been my pleasure making content for you guys. May you continue to support me, and I hope that you are enjoying all the content that we are providing. Thank you once again, and now let's get into the video. So this video will be divided into two parts, and the first one will be those Prime Warframes that you must get right now. The second part will be those Prime Warframes to look forward to, and I'm talking about future Prime releases that will be awesome and worth farming for. Now, this video is based on usefulness and real missions, and you all know that we farm Prime Warframes because they are easier to get compared to their vanilla variant. Say, for example, it's easier to farm Lavos Prime and Void Fisher missions than farm the regular version in Disruption mission. And finally, when I talk about usefulness, I mean those Warframes that are helpful in almost all missions, whether they specialize in a specific mission or are considered one of the best versatile Warframes in the game. Take note that a list like this is always subjective, so I would also like to know your recommended Prime Warframes to farm and the ones you are looking forward to. The first Warframe I highly recommend right now is Lavos Prime. The Warframe is very versatile, and I like to pair him with the meta weapon named Incarnatorid modded with Corrosive and another element of my choice. After that, I add Nourish to my build for the viral element and the energy regeneration, which pairs well with the energy restored from kinetic plating per enemy hit. With 2 Emerald Archon Shard, I can strip the full armor of enemies, allowing viral to deal insane damage to the targets. Now, some players might not like this build because it removes Thermal Sunder, which is a good nuking setup for the Warframe. However, I don't regret subsuming Nourish, as the same kill speed can be attained with the Incarnatorid, and it doesn't just work well against Steel Path trash mobs or Overguard units, but it can be used also against fragmented bosses, Archon hunts, and any other boss fights in the game. Just mod with Radiation or the right element to increase your damage against the boss, and you are good to go. With a high duration build, kinetic plating will last longer, and Gauss Redline ability will have higher buff bonuses, and it will also last longer. This build is also provided with high survivability, with the help of adaptation, quick thinking, decent health values, and the Molt Reconstruct plus arcane resistance. With kinetic plating active, I can always regenerate energy per hit, and it provides great protection against knockdowns, heat, cold, blast, and physical damage. The only thing that I need to worry about is toxin damage directly hitting my health, hence I have the Molt Reconstruct to regain health per cast of his first ability. The adaptation also helps in the damage mitigation on health, since you can stack the 90% damage resistance with constant regeneration on shield, since Gauss passively gains bonus shield recharge rate and shield recharge delay reduction for every point of battery stored in his gauge, up to a maximum of 120% for recharge rate and 80% for recharge delay when the battery's full. In addition, with Molt Reconstruct, you also have constant health regeneration per cast of first ability. This build can be used in almost any Steel Path mission except for spy missions, and I highly recommend getting Lavos Prime right now while his Prime parts are not yet vaulted. Moving on, we got Mesa Prime. This is another versatile Warframe, adept at killing multiple enemies fast while defending an objective. Now, we all know how good a Peacemaker Mesa Prime is, and I don't need to elaborate it further as I have plenty of Mesa Prime videos already on this channel. So instead, I'll just show you the all-rounder, high-end build for Mesa Prime, perfect for Steel Path and beyond. This is a build intended for insane kill speed with her Peacemaker ability, and with the help of the Incarnate Ceramic Dagger initial combo count, plus the secondary outburst in the Topaz Archon Shard that grants a critical chance increase per enemy kill, you can now inflict orange to red crit numbers in your Peacemaker. The best part is that you can also pair it with a Nourish setup, then mod for Corrosive in your Peacemaker to make the viral damage more potent against you and armored enemies. This is by far the best setup for a Peacemaker Mesa Prime build, as Nourish with Xenuric's Wellspring will give your energy regeneration, allowing you to spam Peacemaker whenever you want. Overall, this build is a versatile mod setup that can both survive and kill Steel Path and beyond levels. By the way, Mesa Prime is currently vaulted, and you will need to buy it from other players with Platinum if you want to get the parts of this Prime Warframe. Moving on, I would like to talk about my master of spy Warframe, Ivara Prime. Now, there are other builds for Ivara Prime, and she has some insane synergy with weapons such as glaive or even nuke weapons, as he can increase the damage and critical damage, but I am only using Ivara Prime right now because of her ability to bypass any lasers and make spy missions super easy with her Infiltrate augment. The only problem with this though is that Prowl slows down your movement, but Infiltrate will counter this, and movement will be a lot faster if you have a good amount of power strength. However, do remember that you can't perform any parkour moves though while Prowl is active, as it will deactivate the ability and it would take a lot of jumping, wall clinging, and slow but sure movements to finish the spy mission. Nonetheless, Ivara Prime is still a surefire way of cheesing any spy missions in the game, especially if you also include the Perspicacity helmet that guarantees a 100% hacking of consoles. Right now, the Prime parts for Ivara Prime are vaulted, and the only way to get the Prime Warframe is through trading with other players. Next, we have Wukong Prime, which is also a versatile Warframe. The Warframe is tanky and insane when it comes to mobility. In addition, his Celestial Twin is one of the most reliable artificial intelligence in the game, aside from an on-call crew holding a Kuva Zar. I mostly used Wukong in Netrocell missions, Fragmented Boss, boss capture missions and other missions wherein it requires killing bosses or enemies and needs to travel quite a distance. With Roar increasing the damage, Defy and 3 immortality techniques plus my Celestial Twin, and can take down enemies easily and help my team finish the mission fast. Like the other Prime Warframes, aside from Gas Prime, Wukong Prime access is vaulted right now and can only be obtained through purchasing the Prime parts from other players. Another good alternative for Wukong Prime is Titania Prime, a versatile Warframe with good mobility, kill speed with her Dex Pixia pistols, and enough survivability to finish Steel Path missions easily. The best thing about Titania Prime is that energy economy is not a big problem right now in keeping her Razor Wing Blitz active, since we have helmet abilities such as Nourish to help us maintain the ability. Titania Prime also has a built-in ability to kill enemies with her Dex Pixia. Overall, the Warframe also has mobility, kill speed, and even crowd control if you choose to use her Lantern ability. In addition, the Warframe also has status immunity if you hold her first ability button, and this pairs well with the Boreal, Aviator, and Aerodynamic mod to decrease your damage taken to both shield and armor by 80%. And with Arcane Pistolier, you can turn her Dex Pixia into an infinite bullet hose pistol that can destroy Steel Path enemies easily. Overall, Titania Prime is one of the best versatile Warframe in the game that you should own, but sadly she is still vaulted right now and only purchasable from other players through Platinum. The next Prime Warframe that I can recommend investing in first is Wisp Prime. This Warframe is generally good as a support Warframe that can hold up her own. She has motes that provide high health values and restoration, insane fire rate and attack speed buffs, and the ability to proc electricity, which you can use in various ways. She also got the Breach Surge that blinds enemies and then does insane damage to other targets within the vicinity if you have inflicted massive damage to the first target. If Wisp is in your team, then you'll enjoy the benefit of these buffs, and she is especially used by players with the on-call crew equipped with Kuvazar. The buffs makes the summon insane, and it can obliterate every Steel Path enemies in the game easily. In most cases, Wisp Prime is very helpful in farming Prime parts for long endurance runs because of her buffs. I just don't like that Digital Extremes murdered her Breach Surge and disabled the ability to blind Overguard units, and of course the nerf to Mirage Eclipse ability is a huge letdown, decreasing the effectiveness of an Exodia Contagion nuker Wisp Prime. Nonetheless, Wisp Prime is a pretty solid solo and team player Warframe, and you can currently farm her relics right now and get the Prime parts for free. The next on our list is Revenant Prime. Now, most players will use this Warframe differently, and in fact there are a couple of builds you can use for Revenant Prime. However, this Warframe is commonly used for tanking. Not just surviving though, but completely becoming immortal with his Mesmer Skin ability. The Warframe doesn't care for any damage and you won't die while you have Mesmer Skin active, hence making this Warframe loved by both new and veteran players. If you need a Warframe that can survive the toughest challenges in the game, then Revenant Prime is your best bet, and it's good that you can farm his parts now from relics since his Prime access is currently unvaulted. Then I also want to include Saren Prime on the list since this is one of the best Warframe in terms of elemental combo. The Warframe can combine Viral, Corrosive, Toxin, and other elements easily, and she may not be a general purpose Warframe, but she is really powerful and fun to play with a Venom Dose and Spores combo, paired with the Nourish ability. She also has a great rune clearing potential with her Spores ability, but she is more potent in my opinion with a Condition Overload or Galvanized status setup. Anyway, there's no problem since you can pair both nuking with Spores and Elemental Goddess build in one mod setup. Saren is still one of the best damage dealing Warframe in the game, and she got better when melee influence got into the game, allowing her to clean a room without breaking a sweat. Sadly, Saren Prime is currently vaulted, and you can only get her Prime parts from trading relics with other players or just purchasing her Prime parts directly. Now, the final Warframe that I will include in the best Prime Warframe to farm right now is Necros Prime, the looter Warframe that grants you more resources with his Desecrate ability. Right now, I'm using a full Despoil build with Mirage Eclipse for more survivability. I have already explained why in another video, which you can check out later, but this build is all about farming and surviving with the help of armor, eclipse, and adaptation. It focuses on the Desecrate ability and survivability, and I usually pair this with Incarnate Torrid modded with Viral and Heat, then equip the Ripkus with the Amalgam mod for the Gore chance that triggers Desecrate when enemies get killed by damage over time. It's a pretty solid build that allows me to farm endurance runs easily, whether I'm doing it solo or farming it with a team. Necros Prime is currently vaulted right now though, and you will need to purchase the Prime parts from other players if you want to get the best looter Warframe in the game. The next Warframes I will show you are not yet in the game, but I think they will be amazing Prime releases, and many players will be anticipating their release date because of their usefulness. Take note that our main target here are those Prime Warframes that are useful, and I think the next Warframes I will mention will have a great Prime access. The first one will be Saku Prime, and they are slated for release after the recent Protea Prime access. Saku Prime is one of the most versatile Warframe in the game, and they are similar to Mesa Prime that can both defend and kill effectively even against Steel Path units. The best part about this Warframe is that their ability is a cast and forget, and you will only need to spam their ultimate to stop the timer on the duration. They also have a full defense strip, good crowd control, and extra void damage that deal decent damage to enemies. With Saku Prime's arrival, you can finally put the vanilla version to rest and subsume it to the Helmet system, getting the one of the best damage buff in the game called Sada's Whisper. Next to Saku Prime, it's expected to see Lavos Prime, which is now one of the best elemental damage Warframe, just like Saren. With his Valence Formation Augment, the Warframe can become a lethal alchemist that can brew element that adds to the damage of galvanized status or condition overload setup. The best part is single element imbuement will combine with the other elements that you have in a weapon and then get a separate elemental proc from that imbued element. Say, for example, if you have imbued toxin, then it will combine with electricity in your weapon to form corrosive, and it will trigger a separate toxin proc, which makes it very powerful. It also has elemental damage buff, and it allows you to inflict the best damage types in Warframe in just one gun. While he is not a versatile Warframe in my opinion, he can be a good Warframe to use when it comes to killing enemies fast because of his new Valence Formation Augment. After that, Titania Prime will be the next Prime Warframe to look forward to. Before this Prime Warframe, it's expected to see Sevagoth Prime, Yarli Prime, Caliban Prime, and Gyre Prime. Most probably we can see this Prime Warframe in 2026 if Digital Extremes will not change their release of Prime Warframes. Titania Prime will be super busted because you can easily farm the best Warframe that can kill enemies with insane slash and bleed, then provide insane survivability through overguard and shield gating with his ability. The best part is you can pair this Warframe with Nourish, increasing the energy restoration of the whole team while the rally point is active. The next Prime access after Titania Prime is probably Kullervo Prime, the melee god Warframe that allows any melee weapons to do red crit numbers. Kullervo is insane right now with his Wrath of Yuko augment, allowing you to abuse the high combo count damage of a heavy attack Wrathful Advance or even an Exodiate Contagion Zaw build. The Warframe also has Overguard mechanic, which makes him tanky, and I'm really looking forward to get the Prime version of this Warframe in the future. And finally, Dante Prime will be an absolute hit when it comes out. This is the first ever Warframe that was loved by almost all players in the community during release. The Warframe is insane, as it's a complete frame that can nuke, deal damage with his Grimoire, and also provides insane support to his teammates through crazy Overguard and Overguard restoration. This is one of the best versatile Warframe in the game, and I expect its Prime access to be a massive hit. So these are all the Warframes I suggest getting first, and the Warframes that I'm looking forward to their Prime access in the future. As I have said, this kind of list is subjective, and you may have a different opinion, so feel free to share your favorite Warframes in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again in our next video. Squad Leader, signing off.